What's up, guys? Welcome back to our trading recap with me, Oscar. Today we're going to talk about trade number 12, which turned out to be a good profit. It turned out to be almost a 15% win. I left a lot of the table on the table, but there's so many good things that I did about this trade. So we're going to get right into the trade setup. We're going to talk about the major key things that I did good, and the things that we can keep on working on to make it even more like perfect. You want to be a perfectionist, of course, especially with trading, as that will determine how much profits you make. So just right off, verified trade, around 15%, as I said, had a really small position, only 100 shares, and I'll get into that, why that's so, in just a minute. So the trade setup is ACHV, and if you have seen my previous videos, you've seen that I've traded this before. And the reason that I traded it last time was due to the fact that it had some warrants and a small ATM out. So then I traded something like this. So I took advantage of the dropping action, didn't know how the pre-market action was going to work out. So basically you just entered and exit as we got those those pullbacks and consolidation. So when this came up on my scanner, or the top percent gainer on the morning as a gap up, I'm like thinking, I think I've traded this before. And due to the fact that I am meticulous, I have been writing down and I've been tracking my trades, of course. I searched my Evernote to see if I have any notes about the ticker. So basically what I do is that I have, or at least now I have, something that I call ticker SEC notes. So I basically line up the tickers when I saw them last time and what the SEC status was at that time, so that I don't have to do all the homework once more. So basically, I found out that ACHV, they still have a ton of warrants outstanding. They still have that small ATM, probably not that big anymore. But those are key indicators and key indicators to line up into becoming a good short. But the main reason that I wanted to short this was due to the fact that all of those people who bought last time this ran, has been underwater for, I don't know, a week, and they would I'm not surprised if they wanted to become break even. So I basically drew out the lines where the most consolidating volume has been, and the biggest, of course, the top, and I determined to risk the top, so 610. And so what I did, we got up to 585 or 570, something like that, in pre-market. We'll get a better shot. Give me one sec. So we got up to that 585 level, and of course you can see it in lines. So briefly before that, one of the highest consolidation areas with the most volume, and then basically we had this whipsaw action at market open, and then we dropped and then consolidated, and then it faded the rest of the day. And I'll tell you this, I'm not pissed is the wrong word. I'm not angry about the trade, because it's a great trade. I followed my plan. But there's a lot of potential to take from this. So I ended up covering in here. So I covered at 470 something, 474, my first cover, and then as we started to grind back, I covered at the 480 something. 481, 482, and I got an average of 478. So why I did this was due to the fact that, okay, most stocks tend to like rebound or do something at the half of its spike. So basically the 474 is the half of its spike from its opening. So the gap up I count as the spike. So that's where I covered. And the key things that I could take on to until next time, and I think the major thing that I have to improve on and to keep thinking about to improve on is to let the stock play out, because like all of my trades, or not all of them, but well, yeah, all of them, I've been like not impatient, but I haven't been too patient either to let the chart play out. So when it settles down and makes this double top, and I know there is going to be some like bouncing action, I'm like, hey, I'm good with my profits. I got a 15% profits. I'm out. And that's the wrong mindset, because then you let your emotions and the greed within you determine what to do, and that's not the rationality that you want, because you really want to stay rational within trading. Emotions comes with great information. Don't get me wrong. It's like there are great information within emotions, but most of the times emotions brings noise. So in my case, the emotion that I had was, hey, get out, you have a 15% profit. That's noise from greed saying, okay, hey, you're done. Like, or not greed, it's like it's a mix of greed and insecurity and scaredness. Like, hey, you're done, let's run away, let's do something else, like that. So a key thing that I will take on to my next trade is to try to read what my emotions really tells me. If it's just noise that I'm like not super secure about the setup, or is it like something valuable, like, hey, you should be scared right now. So that's the main thing that I'm going to work on, and to be able to say, hey, okay, I take half of my position down here, and then I let the stock play out, and then not become pissed because if it spikes up and it cuts my new risk level, that I cut the trade, because that was still a rational decision. So key takeaways, guys, always be meticulous, keep track of stuff like SEC filings, spreadsheets, whatever, you name it. The more you prepare, the better will you become to make a trade without being emotional about it. And secondly, what the key things that I'm going to work on is to figure out or determine if the feelings and the emotions that I get is noise or valuable information. And third and not least, let the chart play out. Don't rush it. Be more patient with setups that is lining up good indicators, because ACHV was truly a good play because it had so many indicators that determine, okay, this is like an ideal setup. It's not only a playable setup, it's an ideal setup. Due to the fact that we have this resistance that has never been tested before, we have the ATM, we have the warrants, and we have these ton of bag holders. So there's so many indicators that points that we should have a high selling pressure. And I think that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Guys, if you want to reach out, ask anything, just do it. And until next one, have a nice one.